Hey everybody, how y'all doing? It's Tuesday night, Toke and Talk with GreenIrene. Um, yeah, I can't see. Oh, you know what? I have to get back to the chat. It's not quite 7 o'clock, is it? And you know what? That really hurt. Let's just see here if I can get over. I do believe I've got a great signal tonight. Let's just make sure that we are live everywhere we're supposed to be. Hello and hi. Hello and hi. You know what, guys? Yeah, I don't have Puppy with me. If any of you caught my video earlier today, Puppy had a very busy day. Puppy play date and is currently crashed, like right out cold. So he's going to sleep through the night. I'm just hanging out in the back, taking a bit of a rest. Really hurt my foot, fucked up the bones in my feet again, so it's going to be a little bit before I'm up and running around, and I just kind of, anyway, long story short, yep, I've been treating it. For a friend of you that's out there probably going to tune into this a little bit later, I told you I would tell you how to use this. This is the tincture that I'm using. So right now I have a broken knuckle on my foot, and I have a broken bone at the top plate of my bone of my foot. So twixt the two of them, it really hurts. There's not really a lot you can do about it except stay off of it, let it mend, right? So one of the things I am, of course, doing is I'm meditating a lot. I'm performing self-hypnosis. A little bit of NLP mapping over there, the pain issues, to say the very least. Hello, everybody. Hello, Steve. Hi, Ron. How you doing? So one of the things I use is I make this for a lot of different people that have found it very useful. And it's just an alcohol-based cannabis-infused tincture. As you can see, it's got a really nice color to it. And I practice what I preach, right? So if I'm telling other people this will really help reduce the inflammation and take away, numb some of that pain, I say what I mean and I mean what I say. So I'm using this, but it is alcohol-based, right? So alcohol-based means it's going to dry out my skin. Yes, I'm a girl. Call me a wimp if you want. I don't want dry skin. I definitely don't want dry skin on my feet. So I always follow up every time I spray with the tincture, right? So Michelle, honey, this is one of the things coming your way. The other thing is the cannabis infused. Oh, Michelle in Niagara region, not Michelle on West Coast. Michelle on West Coast, you got your own stuff, girl. You make your own really good stuff, right? But yeah, I'd be happy to swap recipes sometime, or even products, just to see how they differ. But so this is just the cannabis infused coconut oil that I use. And again, I make it for a lot of different people. You can use it for cooking because I don't put anything in there. It's coconut oil and cannabis. That's all that it is. If you keep it in the fridge, it goes hard like a nice hard butter, see? Okay, and if you leave it out, it turns into an oil. So I'll rub it, so I've been rubbing my foot down with that right after applying the alcohol tincture. And again, it helps reduce the inflammation. It makes my skin feel better. The alcohol-based tincture, I think, goes a little bit deeper, a little bit quicker, and it reduces some of the sting that goes along with it. I've broken all the bones in my feet a lot of times. When I was in the wheelchair, I ran over myself a few times. Yeah, but dumbass. But you know what? I could get out of my wheelchair. I couldn't get back in as easily, and it was electric. So I'd reach up to go to pull myself up, and usually a couple of times ran right over my feet. So yeah, you know what? I've abused my feet and they hurt, but they are still serving me very well. So I do my best to treat them well with things like cannabis-infused coconut oil, cannabis-infused tincture. The other thing I do is I make my own, and I've told everybody how to make theirs. You really can. It's super easy. It's cannabis-infused Epsom salts, right? And I put this into my bath water. I'll put it in a bath soak, and they're in there right now. Soaking, it helps, and my feet feels better. It's not spasming as much. It's getting the magnesium from the salts and the pain reduction from the cannabis in a topical spa solution. Yeah. Wow, I said all that. Guys, is it 7:10 yet? How's everybody doing? Hello, Steve D. Hi. Who else? Who else? Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're all here. You know what? I think I've got leg again. Peace Train 2021. So what was I doing since I couldn't get up and I couldn't do my running around? Hey, Mike, how you doing? Couldn't play with the puppy. Well, I mean, I could. Of course, I could. I got down on the ground and I played with the toys with the puppy because isn't that adorable? But I'm telling you, that little puppy, that little Shishon has brought me so much joy. Excuse me, has brought me so much joy. For those of you who have pets, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For those of you who follow me, know that I've been through a little bit of heartache in the last little while looking for a puppy and trying to find my forever fur friend, right? It was a really big decision to make to have another fur friend in my life. I made the decision, and then I kind of went through some heartache when I lost Sadie. And then here's this little guy, and he's beautiful, but he's a little bit of a devil, and he sounds just like Chewy Chewbacca. Chewbacca doesn't roll off the tongue, so I named him Wookie because Chewy's a little bit challenging to say, and everybody calls him. But Chewy Chewbacca, and yes, I'm a sci-fi junkie. I think I told you guys that before in the past. I said it, I meant it. It's true. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. So, what did I do with my day off? It wasn't really a day off, obviously. Yesterday, I built the the token green room. Been hanging up all of my paraphernalia, got the little, hippie hangout set up with all of the stuff, and maybe next week I'll broadcast from there, and you guys will get to see that. That's really kind of cool. It's almost totally tidy. It's not there yet. I set up the gym. That was really cool. Some of the gym exercise equipment. The boys lifted the TV for me today so we can have a screen to watch and motivate while we do a workout. I think that's going to be really cool. So today, since I couldn't do anything physical like that, I did some studying and some reading, and I love reading. And, people say, oh, I wish I had time to read a book. You know what? Make the time. Make the time. Honestly, there are a million lives to be lived just through the pages of 100, right? So I don't read much fiction. In fact, I don't think I've read any fiction in the last few years. Some of the fiction that I used to like, I don't really read fiction, so I can't think of anything that I really tremendously like. But I do read a lot of nonfiction. I read a lot of help books, textbooks, theory books. I love reading research papers. Okay, it makes me a little bit weird, but it is what it is, right? So today, what did I finish up? Well, my book from Karen Hand, which is Magic Words, right? I'm doing some work with some PTSD right now, and as such, I'm kind of trying to put together the magic little equation of my therapeutic choices, which is cannabis, NLP, and hypnosis. So I've got my 3 favorite strains selected, which anybody who's interested, anybody dealing with PTSD out there, consider these strains. So during the day, I really do personally prefer something with a higher sativa leaning strain, though not a really high sativa. So one of the things that I found is very effective, especially for people that are dealing with post-traumatic, like childhood trauma. Some of the strains that I find help with the anxiety and the depression for these people, for these persons or these persons struggling. Blue Dream happens to be one of them. It's a hybrid strain. It's a sativa dominant. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's a 60-40. It'll give you a very cerebral high. There's a little bit of energy and definitely a body stone. So the body is very, very, very relaxed with Blue Dream. Pineapple Express, everybody always tells me right away, oh, pineapple. Yeah, and it's true. Pineapple Express is wonderful for anybody that's dealing with PTSD or is managing PTSD, symptoms. And again, I do believe that it's a 60-40 indica, or sorry, sativa indica blend. I know it's definitely a hybrid. It's just good. It's a really good one. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, so here I am trying those. That's not what I have, but that's 710, guys. Yep. All right, spark them up. Let me know what you guys got on tap. Oh, yeah. Okay, so happy 710, everybody. Happy 710. So what am I puffing on? Sunset. Sunset's also really good for PTSD, people who are dealing with anxiety, people who are dealing with mood disorders or traumas that they're trying to control or manage the symptoms of. Now, that can be a physical trauma, but in most cases, when I'm talking PTSD, I'm talking mental, emotional. And that being said, Sunset is a beautiful evening, nighttime indica strain, and that's Sunset. Sunset is about 23% or higher of THC. It's got about 1 to 3% CBD. It has a super spicy, peppery, almost, I know that other flavor, it'll come to me. Okay, so let's see what you guys are on. Romulan sauce. Oh my God. Okay, I just set up my smoke room, which means I'm hanging up all my paraphernalia, which means I got into all my Karma Cup stuff. And of course, when I saw Karma Cup, some of the Karma Cup stuff, one of the first things that came to me was the Romulan. Fucking, that's where I was introduced to the Romulan strain. Love the Romulan. Even love it in a dab. Love Romulan. Puffin Pineapple Chunk. Okay, so that's going to be close or somehow related to Pineapple Express, right? I've always loved reading research papers, studies, white papers, but especially in my quest for better physical and mental health. Right. I sure hope, Ron, if you haven't been turned on to him yet, go and check out Deepak Chopra. I just got another book of his today. It delivered. I'm anxious to get through it. Really excited. I love the way he writes. Karen Hand is a very hypnotic writer, and she talks, actually this book is about hypnotic patter, so that in our general conversation when working with clients in the future, I'm able to introduce that patter in advance and do it naturally without having to be a script-based hypnotist. I don't want to work from a script. I'd rather work naturally. I think it's much more effective for both the client and for myself, partly because I can pay attention to the client, right, instead of to the piece of paper. If you go and talk to your doctor, do you want him to look at you or do you want him to stare at his computer, right? I want that personal touch. So I think that's important. That's important. Bragger. Who's bragging? I don't know who's bragging. Okay. That's the important thing, Steve. Puff, 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 puff. Oh, you're not sure what you're smoking, but it works. That's awesome. Hey, that is the important thing. Puff, puff. So this happens to be a really, really nice strain. Fantastic for reducing stress and anxiety, that physical. When I start to experience pain, even though I know logically that, okay, this too shall pass and this is why it's happening and, we need to go through this treatment process, nonetheless, my hippocampus or that little guy in the back of my head jumps up and says, "Oh, I remember pain," and goes into panic mode and runs around like a lunatic and causes me all kinds of anxiety issues. So one way of reducing that anxiety is to have a couple of puffs throughout the day. Sit back, chill, and it doesn't matter what you're smoking. I just happen to have the luxury of having grown a few different strains last year, which afforded me the luxury of doing some nug swaps this year because I'd never have access to all those different strains. I mean, God, let's be real, right? um, but it's really cool because if I carry a couple of grams of, you know, whatever, like my Afghani Kush, for example, I grew it. It was there's very little left of it now because I've traded it. I had a couple puffs of it. I really enjoyed it, but a friend of mine grew the Pineapple Express and said, "Hey, I wouldn't mind some, heavy hitting indica." So we swapped. I got a little bit nicer of a sativa. They got a little bit better of an indica, and it's nice to change it up once in a while. I don't know about anybody else, but I know I like to change it up. Anybody else? I missed more conversations. So yeah, changing up. The other thing, hypnosis, such an effective, such an amazingly effective tool for dealing with things like PTSD, dealing with traumas, whether they be in the moment or they be post-traumatic stress disorders. Hello, Facebook or user. And the NLP techniques that are used are mostly, and you know what, they come by different names, but really it's all the same sort of thing. So if you can get yourself into a hypnotic state, even your own meditative state, and then start to use patterns of thinking, imagining yourself in some sort of movie studio where you're sitting in the theater part and down on the stage is where the trauma happened, and that's where you can see it happening, and then move yourself around so that you become dissociated from the experience. So with respect to the pain, one of the things I will do is, I loved this movie back in the day, and I don't know how old it is, but it was called Osmosis Jones. Anybody else see Osmosis Jones? Okay. I loved it. I watched it with my kids. It's basically a cartoon inside the body. I thought it was fantastic. So now, whenever I need to deal with certain issues, and Deepak Chopra actually speaks of using your mind this way to actually walk through your body. So, using hypnosis to start at the top or even at the bottom, wherever you're more comfortable, and just get yourself into a really nice, calm, kind of like a humming state, where kind of like the water's flowing nice and smoothly, or you can feel the air just right and you're kind of calm for that moment. At that point in time, that's when you start to imagine and use your imagination to picture where that pain may be, what might be happening there. Well, I saw in a movie or a YouTube video clip what inflammation looks like and how it squishes the nerves. So I picture my cannabinoids. Yeah, okay, nobody admit me, okay? I am a writer. But I picture these little soldiers down there pushing that inflammation back, and the cannabinoids, helping to reduce all of that, and everybody's in there doing their job, and I drink back a liter or two of water, and I say, here, if you guys need any more, let me know what you need. And so I kind of talk to the inside of my body that way, and I do that through hypnosis. And I know it sounds sort of silly, and yes, I'm definitely awake, and it's kind of like my version of wake dreaming. But it does help to deal with the pain in an entirely different way other than medicating with pharmaceutical or natural. I don't want to be high all day long, okay? There's other things I want to do, and I want to experience and appreciate and enjoy the high. Not that I don't appreciate and enjoy the pain relief. I absolutely do. So I don't put myself through any suffering needlessly. I just don't necessarily need to be high all the time. So one of the cool things about NLP is that it gives us an opportunity to kind of reprogram the unconscious mind, where normally our body will go into immediate protection and defense, or our brain or subconscious, and say, hey, this is what we do when step one happens. We can reprogram that to say, okay, I feel pain, and now look, something shiny. I'm almost done the whole joint all by myself. I still got another one to go. Are we at 420 yet? Hi, Barb. I'm assuming somebody named Barb's out there. Okay. So coming back, basically, we can go down down different trails of behavior if we can catch things at certain points and say, okay, that's pain. I recognize pain. I know what pain is. And then start to imagine different movies in my head of what that pain is, what could actually be happening in my foot, what may or may not help. That are alternatives to, it's 420 West Coast, so I can stop talking for a second. Happy 420 Westies. Did I do it? I think I might have. I think I might have actually got the whole cloud. So, I think it's important. So with these techniques, one of the ways to do it, there's timeline therapy. Some people call it rewind therapy. Some people call it, oh, fuck, I don't know. It's just been called a few different things. I've read it being called a number of different things from a number of different writers and preachers of it. Happy 420 Coast, everybody, West Coast. It's just a way of reprogramming the brain. If you look at the brain as the computer system that runs everything else in the body, you just reprogram it. And one of the easiest ways and times to do that is when you're in a state of self-hypnosis or a state of hypnosis. And hypnosis is basically, it's controlled access to memories. And so it allows you to associate or dissociate with whatever you want because you are limited only by the creativity of your own imagination. The hypnotist that's with you is just there to guide you through it. When it's hypnotherapy, it's not stage mesmerism or anything like that. This is about getting healthier and being more well in the self. It's an opportunity to positively restructure and get the results that you're looking for. You're using the same information. So, for example, if you baked a cake using the same ingredients, same tools, and somehow that cake came out differently each time. One was good, one was bad. Wouldn't you want to reproduce the good one instead of the bad one? And that's kind of what using NLP and hypnosis together does. It helps you reproduce the results that you want. So it doesn't erase what's happened or it doesn't erase the issues or the challenges that you face. It doesn't erase any of that. What it does do is give you a new opportunity to handle it differently. So important to take time out because sometimes I forget that sort of thing. So although my foot's down, and that's the reason I took the time out today, reading about that stuff, taking some time to breathe and do some self-care for myself really made a difference. My foot isn't half as sore as what it was. It's just sore. There's broken bones there or dislocated bones, whatever. Well, there's one broken one and the other one's pretty swollen. So I'm about to go and do a foot soak as soon as I'm done this. I'm not doing any painting tonight. I'm going to do some more reading. This book's done. Great book. Self-hypnosis. How do you learn self-hypnosis? Check out YouTube. Check out my webinars. I'm sure I've got a half dozen out there somewhere. Check out other people's webinars. There's all kinds of ways to learn how to do self-hypnosis. If you've ever sat at the dinner table and listened to the neighbors screaming or the children screaming or the radio or something irritating you, whatever, you've sat there in your office and the boss has been bitching in the back room and you've sat there going, shut up, shut up, shut up, and you've zoned in and it's a state of extreme focus on, say, that salt and pepper shaker on the table and you know what's going on around you, but you're really not a part of it because you're so focused on that little salt and pepper shaker in the middle of the table. You've been hypnotized. You were in a state of self-hypnosis. We all do it all the time. It's getting control over that. And there's all kinds of books and there's all kinds of videos out there to help you do that. So yeah, guys, that's how I'm dealing with pain today. This has been interesting. Like I said, This wasn't a paint and puff tonight. It was some spitballing of strategies. I use, and this is what I'm going to do right now, my cannabis-infused bath salts. There's a recipe on the website. I use my tincture. I think I showed you guys already, and I use my cream, right? Yeah, I got a couple of puffs to get me through the day, and I keep moving about. I put my foot up when I can, and of course I do the obvious things. I alternate hot and cold. I don't run around on it like a lunatic. I rest it so it can mend. Our bodies heal best when it's at rest. It doesn't mean for a sore toe I get to go to bed for the day. What that means is my foot gets a rest and my brain maybe have to do something different than it intended. Not a biggie. New product I want to share with you guys that I just got in last week. I did a product review on it. It is fan-fucking-tastic. And I think I told you guys about this already here. It's called a Smart Notebook. All it is, it's just pieces of paper. That's all it is. Just paper, right? Doesn't look like anything fancy, right? Here, let me just give you an idea. It's got a couple of pre-templates, blah, blah, right? But there is something really cool and special about that. See that writing? Okay, watch this. I'm going to show you something. It is fully erasable. My new pens just came in today because the pen that came with it didn't last very long. I played way too much and showed it off way too much. So I had to wait for the new pens to do to share it with you guys. Look, okay. So I'm going to do picture right here, right? Okay. See that? Okay, you guys got it? Right. That's pen, ink, got it? Haha. Not only does it erase, apparently it'll erase up to 500 times. Yeah, I read the review a few times. But when I have a whole page, so let's say I'm hanging out down at the beach and I do some writing and I take the writing home and now I've got all these pages. I don't have to take those pages out to the fire pit and burn them after I translate them onto my computer because I could take the hairdryer to this and it goes away. So this is like my whiteboards in my pocket. Guess how fucking happy I am. That said, I got my brain in my pocket. I got my medication to go. Michelle, yours is on the way to give you a hand with that shoulder of yours. Thank you very much for contacting me. Everybody else, thank you for tuning in tonight. Thanks for sharing in the chit chat, the stoner spitballing. I hope something I said resonated with you and is able to help you or at least get you started on the right track to a strategy for you. On that note, thanks for sharing a couple of puffs. Love yous all. Cheers. Ciao for now.